Hey guys, welcome to another pedal demonstration. I was on the fence about doing this one because it doesn't seem to be operating optimally. I'll explain what I mean as we go on. But this is the Earthquaker Devices, the Depths. So this is a vibrato, and you can see there's 5 controls. We've got intensity, rate, level, one called throb, and voice. Intensity is basically depth, rate is self-explanatory, level is self-explanatory. Voice changes the sound of it, which will be way more obvious in the sound clips. And throb is really subtle, but it seems to have an effect on the bass frequencies. So, I actually built this last year, I think before Christmas. It's been a while, but I didn't do a video on it yet because it has a couple of quirks. So everything works as it should, but there's a problem with, I think, the intensity. It might be a combination between the intensity and the voice controls. I'm not exactly sure. But what happens is if the intensity goes up too high, and I think it does depend on the voice settings, the vibrato will just stop. There will be no movement at all. So I don't think that happens in the Earthquaker Devices original. I think what may be the problem is that there's 4 light detecting resistors in here around a single lamp. And I believe, if you check the link in the description, you can see the layout I used to build this. And if I'm not mistaken, the layout tells you the specific LDRs that you need, not by part number, but by value. So they should be like X resistance off and X resistance on. And you can search for those on some more extensive part sites like Mouser or what have you. What I did was I had a stock of light detecting resistors that I got from Tata. They only sell one kind, so there was no like searching. I just popped 4 of them in. And I think that may be the issue with this particular one. I'm not exactly sure. But in any case, it's not super, it's not a deal breaker for me. Like, you can still use this pedal as it is, as the way I have it anyway. You might not find it as easy to use as I do, or you may find it more annoying than I do. Perhaps that's a better way to put it. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough, so just so you know about that issue, we'll come across it in sound demos. And so let's plug it in and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I have it set up with a drive pedal in front of it and a drive pedal after it, so we can see how that affects the sound of it. I've tried to pick similar drive pedals. The one on the right is a Love Pedal JTM. The one on the left is a Love Pedal COT 50. Both are clones that I made that have their own videos. You can check them out if you're interested. The only difference between the two of them, well, there are differences between the two of them, but basically the COT 50 is a bit louder and a bit brighter, and the JTM has more clipping, or more overdrive, if you will. So yeah, here's the clean signal through my stock Epiphone Flying V into the Blackheart Little Giant 5. So let's turn on the depths. I'm going to try to continue with the rest of this sound demo without kicking the camera. Let's see if I can manage it. Alright, let me bump the level up a little bit. Let me start with the intensity control. And now you can hear it's gone away. It's basically like the intensity is at 0. That's the issue I was telling you about in the beginning. So if we back that off, it will come back. There it is. But yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory now. It's a depth control. So let's bring that back about halfway, and we'll go with the rate. So it's got a fairly good range. The level we'll leave alone. Now the throb might be difficult to hear, but I'll try to let it ring and go from maximum to minimum to see if you can make it out, but it's really a subtle control. Not sure if that came across on camera, but it's a really, to me it sounds like it affects the low end. So at minimum you'll get a little less low end, and at maximum you'll really hear it when it gets through to the low end sweep. You hear it a bit more. So that's my opinion anyway. That's what I hear. Hopefully that came through on camera. And finally the voice. So like I said, I think this may be related to the intensity issue, but we'll start with the, I'll actually just play, I'll let a chord ring and then I'll sweep and you'll hear how it changes. So yeah, it just changes the overall sound of the sweep itself. And as you heard, there's a lot more change in the final, say, quarter turn than there is in the rest, but you can hear it across the whole sweep. So I think that's really nice and makes it really versatile. But you know, with that other issue with the intensity, I believe with the voice all the way up, it takes less intensity to make it fade out completely, basically. Like to make it stop being a vibrato. Whereas with the voice at the bottom, you can take the intensity almost all the way up before it does that. So I think that's the relation between them anyway. Like I said, if you follow the instructions through the link in the description and get the proper LDRs, you might find that this works better for you. I'm not sure that that's the issue, but that's the most obvious thing I can think of anyway. I forgot to showcase the Dirt before and after. So, let me just leave it with this sound. Maybe a little bit less intensity. Yeah, we'll go with that. So here's what Dirt sounds like before that. Anyway, I hope that demonstrates the difference in sound between drive before and drive after vibrato. Neither one of them I would say is better or worse, in my opinion anyway. They just sound different, so it's all about what you prefer. Like everything. So anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take it easy.